Stop being a spectator in your own life. Most people are starving for a change, but they're terrified to leave the shore of their own comfort. Tonight, we aren't here to try. We are here to shatter the blueprints of who you used to be and demand the champion that's been locked inside of you finally stands up. Gemini said physiology is the most powerful immediate tool available to a human being for changing their internal experience. Most people are operating under the massive delusion that they must wait for a good day or a specific external result before they can feel like a champion. They wake up, check their phone, feel a sense of dread, and let their slumped shoulders and shallow breathing dictate the quality of their life. This is living in a reactive state, and champions do not react, they create. When we talk about the power of physiological state, we are talking about the biological fact that your mind and your body are part of the same cybernetic system. You cannot think like a winner while moving like a loser. If you sit with your chest collapsed, your head tilted down, and your breath restricted to the upper third of your lungs, you're literally sending a biochemical signal to your brain to produce cortisol and sustain a state of uncertainty. You are robbing yourself of your own genius. To think like a champion, you must understand that motion creates emotion. The quickest way to change your mind is to move your body with radical intensity. This isn't about faking it until you make it. It is about using the physical levers of your biology to demand a specific result from your nervous system. When you stand tall, pull your shoulders back, and breathe deeply from your diaphragm, you change your hormone profile. Research shows that just 2 minutes of power posing can increase testosterone, the hormone of confidence, and decrease cortisol, the hormone of stress. Champions use this as a weapon. They anchor themselves in a state of peak performance before they ever step onto the field, enter the boardroom, or engage in a difficult conversation. They understand that if they enter a situation in a low energy, fearful state, their brain will only have access to low energy, fearful thoughts. But when they explode into a state of certainty, their brain suddenly finds the answers, the strategies, and the courage that were previously hidden. You have to train your body to be the leader of your mind. You have to consciously choose a gait, a voice, and a physical presence that reflects the person you are becoming, not the person you have been. By mastering your physiology, you seize control of the steering wheel of your life, ensuring that you arrive at every challenge with the full force of your limitations, The difference between a life of mediocrity and a life of absolute mastery comes down to a single sharp distinction: the difference between a should and a must. Most people in this world are walking around with a giant list of shoulds. I should lose weight, I should start that business, I should spend more time with my kids, I should be more focused. And what happens when you don't do a should, you feel a little bit of guilt, a little bit of frustration, but you don't change. Why? Because a should is a preference. It would be nice if it happened, but champions don't live in the land of it would be nice. They live in the world of non-negotiable standards. When you raise your standards and turn a should into a must, your entire identity shifts. Suddenly, you aren't just someone trying to succeed. You are a person for whom failure is no longer an option. This is the psychological threshold where true transformation begins. Think about it. You always find a way to get your musts. You found a way to pay your rent. You found a way to get food. You found a way to survive because those things were absolute necessities. The secret to thinking like a champion is to move your dreams into that same category of survival. When you set a decisive standard, you stop negotiating with yourself. You don't wake up and ask, do I feel like working out today? Or am I in the mood to make those sales calls? Those questions are for people with shoulds. A champion has already decided. The decision was made long before the alarm went off. This is about the internal blueprint you carry of who you are and what you are capable of. If your standard is I'll do my best, you have already given yourself an out. But if your standard is I will find a way or I will make one, you have tapped into a different level of human resourcefulness. This shift changes your focus. Instead of looking for excuses, your brain begins to scan the environment for tools, connections, and strategies to meet that new standard. You begin to repel the distractions that used to tempt you because they no longer fit the identity of the person you have committed to being. It is a violent act of self-definition. You are drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is who I am, and this is what I represent. When your standards are high, your life follows. You don't get what you want in life, you get what you tolerate. If you tolerate a low energy body, a stagnant bank account, or a lukewarm relationship, that is exactly what you will have. But the moment you refuse to tolerate anything less than excellence, the moment you make it a must, you have already won the inner game. The law of total immersion is the ultimate separator between those who dream of a different life and those who actually manifest one. Most people are dabblers. They try a little bit of this, they dip their toe into that, and they wonder why they never see massive results. They have a plan B tucked away in their back pocket just in case things don't work out. But let me tell you something, plan B is the most dangerous thing you can have because it guarantees that when the going gets tough, and it will get tough, you will retreat to the safety of your old life. To think like a champion, you must adopt the philosophy of the ancient conquerors. If you want to take the island, you have to burn the boats. When you burn the boats, you remove the possibility of retreat. You create a psychological environment where there is no alternative but to succeed. Total immersion means you are not just interested in your goal, you are obsessed with it. You surround yourself with the environment, the people, the information, and the language of your desired outcome 24 hours a day. It is the difference between learning a language in a classroom once a week and being dropped in the middle of a foreign city where no one speaks your native tongue. In the second scenario, your brain finds a way to adapt because it has no other choice. This is how champions operate. They don't just study success, they live it. They saturate their nervous system with the thoughts and behaviors of the person they are become, hinge in until those behaviors become as natural as breathing. Most people are terrified of this level of commitment because they fear what might happen if they fail. But the champion knows that the only real failure is the failure to give everything you have. When you are totally immersed, you don't have time for the what ifs or the doubts that plague the average person. Your focus is so narrow and so intense that you become a heat-seeking missile for your target. You stop being a spectator of your own life and you become the lead actor, the director, and the producer all at once. You must decide that you are going to stay in the game until you win. You are going to immerse yourself so deeply in your craft, your business, or your health that the old version of you literally starves to death for lack of attention. This level of focus creates a momentum that is unstoppable. It forces your brain to reorganize itself around a single point of certainty. When you are 100% committed, the universe begins to conspire in your favor because you are no longer sending mixed signals. You are a singular force of nature moving toward a singular destination with every fiber of your being aligned in one direction. Knowledge is not power. It is a lie we've been told for centuries to keep us comfortable in our inaction. Knowledge is only potential power. The world is filled with educated derelicts who know exactly what they should do. They know the science, they've read the books, they've been to the seminars, and yet their lives are exactly the same as they were 5 years ago. Why? Because they lack the one thing that separates the dreamer from the champion: the courage to take massive, immediate action. A champion understands that execution is the only thing that changes your reality. The moment you have an insight, the moment you feel that spark of inspiration, you must marry it to a physical action. If you don't act within seconds, the law of diminishing intent takes over. Your brain, which is designed to keep you safe and comfortable, will begin to manufacture excuses. It will tell you that you aren't ready, that you need more research, or that the timing isn't right. But the timing is never right. You have to make the timing right by the sheer force of your will. Massive action means you don't just take one step, you take 10. You don't just try one strategy, you try 50. You overwhelm the problem with your output. Most people fail because they are perfecting their plan while the champion is already out in the field, failing, learning, and adjusting in real time. You cannot steer a parked car. You have to get the vehicle moving before you can refine the direction. When you take massive action, you create a feedback loop that the thinker can never access. You learn what works and what doesn't by touching the stove, not by reading about the heat. This creates a momentum that is psychological, emotional, and spiritual. It sends a message to your own subconscious mind that you are serious. It breaks the habit of hesitation that has been keeping you paralyzed. You must become a person who is biased toward movement. If you want to change your business, pick up the phone right now. If you want to change your body, get on the floor and push right now. Do not wait for the perfect plan, because the perfect plan is a myth created by people who are afraid to fail. A champion's plan is simple. Get started, stay started, and outwork every doubt that tries to slow you down. You must decide that your life is a contact sport. You are going to get bruised, you are going to get tired, but you are going to be the one who is still standing because you refuse to let an idea sit on the shelf. You turn it into a result.